Are you about to drop a chunk of cash on a new, or maybe even a refurbished laptop? Well, listen, if you buy blindly without checking a few crucial things, you are seriously setting yourself up for some major buyer's remorse. Nobody wants to waste their hard-earned money, right? Today, we are going to completely clear up that confusion. Stick with me because by the end of this explainer, you're going to be a total laptop buying expert. Buying blindly is literally the biggest mistake you can make. Do not just fall for a shiny exterior. Today, we're diving into exactly what you need to look for, matching the laptop to your actual needs, picking the right processor, figuring out how much RAM and SSD storage you really need, and most importantly, the one massive mistake you absolutely must avoid. Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, we'll decide your purpose first. Number 2, we'll cover core specs. Number 3 is display and connectivity. Number 4, battery and refurbished tips. And finally, number 5, the final verdict. All right, kicking things off with section 1, decide your purpose first. You really need to match the machine to the mission. Before you even think about hitting that buy button, ask yourself, what am I actually going to do on this thing? Is it just for online classes, Microsoft Office, and some light web browsing? Or are you getting into coding and programming, maybe video editing, gaming, graphic design? You have to choose your configuration based on your specific daily tasks. For instance, a student's budget-friendly laptop is completely different from a content creator's need for a top-tier display. An office laptop needs a rock-solid build and all-day battery, whereas a gaming laptop, well, that needs a heavy chassis and a beefy graphics card to handle high performance. Moving right along to section 2, core specs. We're talking CPU, RAM, and storage. Think of the processor as the actual brain of your laptop. It handles every single calculation and task you throw at it. And look, if the brain is slow, your entire system is going to drag. It's really that simple. So, which brain do you actually need? If you're just doing normal everyday tasks, go for an Intel Core i3 or an AMD Ryzen 3. Need to do some coding or multitasking? Step up to a Core i5 or Ryzen 5. But if you are doing heavy editing or hardcore gaming, you're going to need a Core i7, a Ryzen 7, or even higher. Oh, and here is a hard and fast rule for you. Always avoid older generations. Always. The newer generations are just so much faster and way more power efficient. Now, let's talk about memory, your RAM. Going into 2026, 8 gigabytes of RAM is your absolute non-negotiable minimum. Do not go lower. If you're an editor or a heavy multitasker, 16 gigabytes is highly recommended. And here's a pro tip for you. Always check if the RAM can be upgraded later on. It is a total lifesaver. When it comes to storage nowadays, SSD is the only way to go. Period. You should literally skip the hard disk drive completely. An SSD gives you lightning-fast boot times, and your heavy software will open up almost instantly. It is absolutely mandatory for a snappy experience in today's era. So how much SSD storage do you actually need? Well, a 256GB SSD is the bare baseline just to get by, but honestly, a 512GB SSD is the smartest, most practical option for the long haul. It gives you plenty of breathing room for all your files and apps. Okay, let's look at the outside. Section 3. Display and connectivity. What you see and what you plug in. You are going to be staring at this screen all day, so demand a full HD display. That's 1920 by 1080 pixels. Settling for anything less just ruins the visual experience. Everything will look slightly blurry. Also, make sure it has an IPS panel. That is the secret sauce for getting the absolute best colors and the widest viewing angles. Next up, check those ports. Ensure you've got standard USB ports, an HDMI port for external monitors, Type-C for modern accessories, a headphone jack, and of course, reliable Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. When you're buying, literally test every single one of these connections to make sure they function perfectly. Let's talk about keeping the lights on. Section 4, battery and refurbished tips, power and second-hand safety nets. A portable laptop is totally useless if it constantly needs to be plugged into a wall, right? Verify that battery health. If you're braving the refurbished market, specifically ask the seller for exact backup times. And this is crucial. Demand the original charger. Always double-check its authenticity to keep your laptop safe. Speaking of the refurbished market, if you're buying secondhand, treat this as your ultimate checklist before handing over any cash. Physically test every single key on the keyboard. Check the screen against a solid black and white background to spot any dead pixels. Test the speakers, the webcam, the mic, and the Wi-Fi. Ask to see the SSD's health score, and absolutely demand to know the warranty or return policy. Cover your bases. Finally, bringing it all together. Section 5. The final verdict. Buying smart. Here is the biggest takeaway from all of this. Never, ever buy a laptop just by looking at the processor. It is the most common mistake buyers make. You have to check the entire package. You've got to look at the processor alongside the RAM, the SSD, the display, the battery, and your future upgrade options. If you evaluate the whole system, you'll save a ton of money and avoid that dreadful buyer's remorse. Hopefully, this guide has given you the confidence you need to make a really smart choice. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, I want to hear from you. Which laptop are you planning to buy? Drop it in the comments below. I'll jump in there and help guide you to make sure you're getting the best deal. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and happy hunting.